Well, the thought of today, we could go over some research tips for people who decide to make a product and sell it online. Kind of like bootstrapping effort, the DIY product creation. Maybe you're thinking of creating a course or a package. So these research tips are all about maximizing your time, not wasting it on products which are not going to sell. So one of the books I recommend for this is a book published over 25 years ago. It's called How to Make Maximum Money in Minimum Time by the prolific copywriter Gary Halbert. And this book is available online. It's a little dated, but there are many classic jewels in there that still apply today, even more so in quite often what could be an oversaturated um, industry. So, I mean, this is important because a lot of entrepreneurs they reach a point where they are tired of trading time for money. And while there are a number of ways to remedy this, one of the ways is to create an online product that gives you more leverage and earning ability. So the thing is there is a word of caution here, because the number of people who go down this product creation route, they don't sell out of the gate immediately. So that can be disheartening, and there is often a lot of humble pie and disappointment along the way if the product doesn't take off immediately. So before you even design your product, you have to find out if there is a market for it. Because there's not really much point in investing a lot of money in an idea only to find out that there is no one who wants it. So here are a few research tips I want to talk about dealing with testing the interest of the market. And I'm not counting your mother in as part of your market. She already loves you. I'm thinking of people that don't know you, that are going to vote with their wallets. So the insight you get from the research will serve a number of purposes. More specifically, I think what it's going to do is it's going to tell you what's on your target market's hearts and minds. There are great books on this, and two that come to mind are one of them is the Robert Collier Letter Book, and this is where the author Robert Collier talks about entering the conversation already going on in the customer's mind. And the other book dealing with this on a more scientific and more clairvoyant almost level is a book called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, and that's also available online. So it's great value. You can get great value in your research by swallowing your ego to where you think your target market. You have to think of where they are, and you actually have to pay attention to what they are telling you. This is the biggest mistake people often make, like even when they're creating their content for their website. And usually the best place to start is with your prospect's problem. In other words, what is it they want? It's your job to identify what your prospect wants, what kind of solution they want, and your product must offer the solution to their problem, or at the very least direct your prospect to the solution. And you don't have to create a bigger problem for yourself and try and offer the complete fix of all products. No, like, use your research to actually find the pathway to create future solutions for the prospect. Think about it along the path of your problem. So this kind of brings me into the area of the moving parade, and this was a term I first heard about it from a guy called Jay Abraham, another prolific marketeer, where you have to keep in mind that your prospects' needs even in relation to the problem they're presenting you with, their needs will change over time. So even to the point where they may outgrow the need for your service or product. And another consideration here is the product cycle that you create and whether your step-by-step process is actually in sync with the way your prospect wants to receive their solution. You might have the best solution, but your target market might not even be ready to receive it in that way. For example, an ebook would have been useless in 1996 when a large part of the population didn't even have an internet. But the information on your ebook might have been invaluable. But if the target market can't receive it, then it's worthless. So these are the points you need to keep in mind when creating your market funnel, or the pathway that you want your prospect to go down. So here are 4 ways to test the sellability of your product before you even begin to create it. And number 1 on the list is to do a Google search for it. You can test the market by typing in keywords related to your idea into Google. Now, if you see paid advertisers on the Google page when you type in your keywords, this is a great sign because it indicates a strong market for your idea. So read through the search result and see what strong competitors are offering the marketplace. How are they making these offerings? What do their offerings look like? Their websites look like? So while you are seeing evidence of a strong market and how the competitors are positioning themselves, you have to keep your antenna up on ways you can make your product different. How your product can stand out in the marketplace. What makes your product unique in the minds of your market? So study your competition and they will tell you more about your position, your to-be position in the marketplace. Now, the second tip here for your product creation is Amazon. And we're still testing for demand here for your product. So you want to go to Amazon and do a search on your topic. Use the keywords again on Amazon. Keywords related to your product and all other products related to it. And see if there are any books on the subject. And if there are any books, then this is a great sign. So and another thing you can do is to click on the reviews and get an idea on what people like and don't like in relation to the product. This is even more powerful than having a focus group for the product because these people have actually voted with their wallets. So the opinions are more candid, more qualified and honest. Pay particular attention to the negative reviews because these are showing you potential things to improve with any product that you'd create in that particular niche, which could potentially differentiate you in the marketplace. So make a list of the pros and cons, what people like, what is missing from the product that these people received, key features and benefits of the product in general. And then you take this information and you use it to bridge the gap, getting where you fit in. And this is the main goal of defining a USP. So again, it's a reminder that you're doing this research with your idea in mind and finding a gap in the market. So you're trying to drill down and find out what is really important to your market. So number 3 is other online sources of information. And to answer this question of what is really important to your market, there are social media sites and online forums. You can literally go online and be watching what people are talking about, even start conversations with them, enter in discussion groups. And you're definitely going to get some feedback because people love giving feedback. They love putting their 2 pennies in. And the main thing to keep in mind is trying to engage with people who have voted with their wallets. And number 4 is setting up a landing page online, which you you can provide a free offer on this landing page, like a white paper or an ebook. And of course, the people who request the free offer have to leave their contact details in order to receive the offer. Now, the key thing here, which is important, is to make the free offer very focused and matched to your market and the problem you think they want solving. Because again, we are assessing here market interest. So you can invest in Facebook. It's not going to cost, shouldn't cost more than £50 at a time, which can drive people who are interested in your topic to your landing page. And this gives you the added benefit of building a list of people interested in solving that problem. And from within that list of people, you may have your future customers for your product. And it's so important to keep your ego out of this process. I mean, it's better to stay market focused and as objective as possible. And I can remember an example of this with one of my coaching clients, and we were talking about, well, this client thought that his idea was was the next big thing. He'd gone to university to study this, and so to his mind, internet security is the next biggest thing. So I stopped two people in the coffee shop, and the coffee shop we were in, and I asked them point blank, as part of my real-time demonstrating, I asked, would you be interested in blank, online security for like every time you go online? And both of them said no, that they don't care, they just go online and do what they do, and they're not really bothered about online security. So it was my effort to prove to him there was not really a market with the average person on the street. Now granted, this is a really tiny sample size, but my point to make was that the average person on the street does not have online security at the very top of their minds. Like maybe when they've made an online purchase and their product is now 2 weeks late, maybe they're thinking about a refund, whether they'll get their money back, and who's got my money, or so. But it's not at the top of their mind. Like the type of person walking around with online security at the top of their mind is probably someone doing something professionally, where online security is more linked into their bread and butter. It's like the difference between the keeping their business alive or having their list of customers wiped out overnight. So you have to remain objective with your product idea. So I hope the product you have in mind is hugely successful. Keep these tips in mind. So this is Alfred Angelo, signing out for Sage Tactics, representing National Diversified UK.